Well, good evening, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Bright Spots. I am so glad that you are here. It has been an incredible day in the Ohio Valley today, right? Woke up to snow, looked like winter outside. All the snow was coming down, sticking to the ground and to the cars. It is April, right? April 21st. How can that possibly be? It's a month after spring has begun, and we had snow today. I saw on Facebook today that a friend of ours even had filled their pool up. They were getting their pool ready for warmer weather, And today there was snow next to the pool. How crazy, right? Well, you never know what Mother Nature is going to do. Somebody said Mother Nature is a little confused. And I think that just happens sometimes, right? What's your favorite memory of snow later in the season? I know I've heard tale of snow all the way in May here in the Ohio Valley. I don't believe I've ever witnessed that, but I have heard tale of it. So I just got back from Kentucky. I was in Kentucky on a business trip, and I had never been to Lexington, Kentucky. I had been to Louisville, but not Lexington. What a beautiful place. What beautiful country. You know, folks, if you have not traveled across our beautiful United States of America, I encourage you to do that. I have a feeling that car trips are going to be very popular this year. I think that a lot of folks are kind of staying away from getting on airplanes, closed in spaces. And I think we're going to see a lot of people hopping in their cars and driving across the country. Is that what you plan on doing? And if so, I'd love to know where you plan to go. There's so many things to see across this country. I know that as a speaker, I've gotten to travel to a lot of different places and visit a lot of states, but I haven't been to all of them. And I would love to cross some off of my bucket list, right? There are some places I'd love to go. I've never been to Seattle. I think I'd love to see Washington State. I think that would be a great place to see. I've also never been to New Mexico. That's another place I'd love to go see. Tell me, where would you like to go? What kind of places would you like to visit that you've never visited? Either by car, plane, bus, train, however you want to get there. I'd love to know your story. So tonight we have an incredible guest. I'm very excited to bring into the studio this young lady. I think that you are just going to love this. Sara Im is one of the most inspirational female speakers in the marketplace today. She is a survivor of the killing fields of Cambodia. She is an author of an award-winning book, How I Survived the Killing Fields. Sara graduated from Western Connecticut State University, and she runs her own wellness business, Smart Healthy Living. She speaks to inspire and instill hope in her audience at conferences, seminars, churches, women's clubs, schools, TV, radio, and more. She is a member of the Bay Area Professional Writers Guild, Better Living for Seniors, Toastmasters International, and a founder of Christian Professionals Network. Sara just celebrated her 31st anniversary married to her husband, Dr. Sofan Im. And if you're looking for inspiration to pursue your dreams, give a big hand to Sara Im. Sara, welcome, welcome, welcome to the studio. It is great to have you here.
Thank you for having me, Lori. I appreciate you.
I appreciate you too. So, Sara, I'm very curious about your story. So you grew up in Cambodia, is that correct? So
Yeah.
tell us a little bit about that, about your journey and how you ended up here in the United States.
Sure, I will be happy to. Well, I grew up in Cambodia, and in my childhood, I was a happy child. I was a firstborn and grew up in the countryside. But when I graduated from high school, I was able to attend college. And college is far away from home, which is about 8 hours of driving. So I went off to college, and my whole family were back home. While I was in college, my country went through a horrible experience. You probably remember when the Khmer Rouge communist regime took over our country. That was in 1975. When they came in, they shut down the whole country. That means a total lockdown. I don't mean lockdown, it's shut down. They shut down the whole city, all the city in Cambodia, and they began to evacuate people. They went door to door and just point the gun at us to leave everything that we ever owned. So I was so panicked and nervous, and I want to go home, but there is no way to go home. So I just follow the crowd. They push us away from home, and we just walk all the time and sleep on the ground. Just eat a little bit of what the food that we took from home, and then we end up in the countryside, far away from the city. And within a couple of weeks, I was um, displaced twice. So I finally end up in the big camp. It's a forced labor camp, and there I stayed for 4 horrible years. I was forced to work extremely hard under the extreme heat, and very little time to rest, very little time to sleep, and hardly any food to eat. And many of us began to get sick, and the sickness just spread out throughout the camp, and I became very sick with malaria, typhoid, and initiated. I just gained like have only like skin and bone, and I'm still struggle. Have to go to work all this time until I cannot work anymore. They put the sick people like me in the death camp, and when I got there, I know I'm going to die. So I pray, I pray to God to save me. I believe that there is God. So I asked him to save me, and he did. He gave me the energy to run away from that place, and finally I got back to the work camp, and one kind team leader saw me, and she had sympathy on me, and she found me a job in the kitchen. That's when I realized that God answered my prayer and how I survived.
So, Sarah, during that time that you were in the camp and working, and when did you first know that God was going to rescue you? That, like, when was there a time when you knew, when you had that peace that it was going to be okay?
I just I don't really know when God is going to help me, but I just there is nothing else to do, so I pray and I just trust that God will hear me.
So
And
you had been taught about God as a child. Then you carried that faith with you as an adult.
I have a notion that there is God, but I I don't know for sure how God look like and all that. I don't have that strong faith. I did not know that much about God, but I believe that He exists.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So then, how about your family? Did your family also survive, Sarah?
Yeah. Again, praise God. M- My whole family survived, but
Yes.
I lost a lot of cousins, uncle, and many other relatives.
Okay.
My my own husband here, he lost everybody.
Hmm.
I mean everybody, including his parents, his brother and sisters, niece and nephew.
Wow. And did you meet him before you came to the United States?
No,
No?
I'm
Okay.
meeting here.
So what brought you to the United States? How did that happen? Walk us through that.
When when I escaped from the communist Khmer, I found my family, and at that time the communist Vietnamese came in. They liberate us from the Khmer communists, but we are still don't trust, nobody trusts any government anymore. So I was so fearful. My parents was fearful for our life, and my mom pushed me out. She said, "Honey, you need to leave the country. Maybe, hopefully, you can find my cousin, and hopefully, if you are okay, you probably can come back and help us." So that was the push that I need, and, and I'm facing that situation. It's a very risky escape, but I did it. I crossed over the border to Thai border, and I found the refugee camp that was set up by UN, and I tracked down my mom's cousin, and he sponsored me to come over. So it took the whole time more than a year to arrive here. At that time, there was no way for us to buy the airplane ticket or passport or anything like that. So if you want to get out, you have to escape.
So then what happened when you got here to the United States? What did that look like, and how did you end up going to the university in Connecticut? Kind of walk us through that.
When I arrived, first I need to study. I need to learn the language, and then I need to get my high school, my GED, because I have nothing to show that I was in college before, and so I had to prove myself all over again. And then once I get my GED, I registered for college, and I worked my way through college. I worked full time to support myself and pay for school. And it took me 5 years to work full time and go to school at the same time. But I did it in 5 years. I graduated. I cannot hear you.
Yeah, I muted so the dog wouldn't be barking. So were you able to help your family then come to the United States as well? And how long did it take for you to make that happen, Sarah?
Yes, I was able to help my family. My family escaped from Cambodia about 4 or 5 years after me. But by the time they arrived in the camp was closed. That means they do not register the new arrival. And my family end up undocumented in the new country. So it was a big challenge for me, but it took me 5 years to get them out of the camp legally. Of course, I had to become a U.S. citizen first, and I sponsored them as an immigrant. So it can be done, but I did it. I'm so happy that my loved one came over.
So you had told me off camera that you came to the United States in 1981. Is that correct?
Yes,
And then so your family came in the late 80s?
yes, yes,
Okay. Um, and yeah, you said you met your husband here, but he is from Cambodia as well. So how did that happen? How did you all meet?
Well, when you come from a small country, it's a small community. Everybody know almost everybody. So my cousin lived in Texas, and she's introduced me to my husband. That's how we met. So it's a small community.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Have you always lived in Florida?
No, no. Mhm. I have opportunity to live in first in Connecticut and then move to Texas and then to Tampa, Florida the very first time and then move back to Massachusetts and then Atlanta and then here. So this is our final stop.
This is it, huh?
This is our retirement place.
So how would you compare the United States to Cambodia as far as landscape and geography and that sort of, is it comparable? Like, I've never been to your country, so what is the landscape like, and how does it compare to the United States?
Cambodia is a tropical country. The climate is like Florida. So that's why we love Florida. It feels like living in Cambodia, but it's a small country and the landscape is beautiful. We have mountains, we have beaches, and we have jungle, we have rainforest, we have lake and the ocean. So Cambodia is very rich in the natural resource also.
Have you been back since you left?
Yes,
Yes.
I've been back only once,
Mm-hmm.
six years ago.
Okay. So, all right. So you escaped. You were rescued, and you have a new life in the United States. Tell us about your career. Then you went to college. What did you do when you got out of college? What was your life work?
When I got out of college, I got a job um, in the in the headquarters of the insurance company in Hartford, Connecticut. I was inspired to be an actuary, but I I did not plan well. I wait until I graduate and then I pursue. But by then I forgot what I learned from the beginning. So to um, to become an actuary, you have to be on top of the mathematics and statistics and all that. A very very difficult test exam to take. But because I did not know the rope, the way to get there, I missed my opportunity. But it's not it's not my burning desire to be an actuary, but I just thought that because I enjoyed mathematics, I love math. That would be an ideal career for me. But God had another plan. So
So, when did you transition to being a speaker and empowering women to step out? When did that happen?
I start to speak, sharing about the healthy lifestyle and um, in the health and wellness career for about almost 10 years. But 6 years ago, I published my book. My book is about my life um, through the killing fields and get out. So after my book was published, people request me to speak in many places. So I become more aware that people can benefit from my story. They get inspired. So I think that I feel like God is directing me that way, maybe. So I focus on doing that for about 6 years now.
Okay, so let's go ahead and show the folks your website. So this is Sara's website, and she is a Christian motivational speaker and award-winning author. And so here on her website, you can see her upcoming events, ongoing events, and some of your events are in person now. Is that correct?
Yeah, yesterday I just went to speak in person in the women group, but most of the events are still online.
Still, okay, still virtual. You can also find her book here. She actually has two publications. The one that she was just speaking about, How I Survived the Killing Fields, a story of hope, love, and determination, right there. And then Holistic Approach. I'm guessing this is health and wellness, Sara?
Yes, this is a health and wellness book. It's a collaboration book there are a lot of professional, wellness professionals that contribute uh, different chapter of their profession, and I wrote one chapter in it.
Okay. And Sara, you also have some free gifts available to folks who log on. Why don't you tell us a little bit about this?
Yeah, that free gift um, is the guide to live a healthy lifestyle. It's a very good. I'm sure you will enjoy. You will benefit from it. It's just a simple guide. So it, it's cover food, cover different healthy habits. I will. I also talk a little bit about the supplementations, a little bit. So it's a very well balanced article that I think everybody will benefit from it.
And you also offer a free 30-minute coaching session. Is that correct?
Yes,
Okay. And so for folks that are watching, you coach for a healthy lifestyle, correct? You coach wellness.
yes, yeah. I'm not really coaching. I am giving a consultation. I give them a guide, and they can take my advice, and they can do whatever they feel like to do.
Okay, so folks, if you want to learn more, you can visit saraim.com. That is Miss Sara's website, saraim.com, and you can register to receive the free gifts and a 30-minute coaching session with Sara, and learn more about her. And if you're looking for a speaker, there's information there to book her as a speaker as well. So, Sara, what else do we need to talk about today? We've covered how you got here. We've covered a little bit, just enough to tease people to buy your book and read more about how you survive the killing fields. And we've talked a little bit about your wellness journey. What else would you like to tell the viewers this evening?
Well, I like to tell the viewer that now I'm focusing on speaking to share my experience and um, all the life lessons that I learned through my difficult journey, how I how I overcome all those obstacles, and how I claim my triumph. I claim my victory. So I can teach, I can share what are some of the core values that we all need to use whenever we manage a challenge, a difficulty, a problem, or want to reach success, and what are some of the things that I can teach about mindset. A, a lot of battle we can win by our own mindset. So having a positive, optimistic perspective is very critical. And also, I believe in building a resilience. When things happen to you, when you are resilient, you will bounce back very quickly. But there is a way that you can build your own resilience. You may not be born with it, but you can also learn. So I offer my speaking engagement to group, to business, to corporation, to any association that have their big event or small event. I can speak online or in person. So that's um, my motivation right now. I love to use what I have learned, what I have mastered to benefit other people.
And Sara, you also talk about confidence and how important confidence is as well. Why do you believe confidence is important to success?
Definitely. Confidence is so important. that when you have your own confidence, you are not afraid. You will be courageous. Like when I was trapped, captivated in the killing field, I had the courage, I had the confidence and courage and lead a few other people to escape, to get out, to find my own freedom. When you have a confidence, you are not fearful, you have courage. You can do a lot of wonderful things. You can achieve your success, you can win your battle.
So there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Our guest this evening has been Sara Im, award-winning author and survivor of the killing fields of Cambodia, the genocide that happened there. And if you're not familiar with that era in our history, I encourage you to look it up and also to visit saraim.com and purchase her book, available on amazon.com. and also available at her website, so that you can learn more about Sara's journey. And if you've got a group that you would like to invite Sara to speak to, she does travel and will also do virtual classes as well. So Sara, thank you so much for joining us here on Bright Spots. I hope it has been a good experience for you, and I've certainly enjoyed getting to know you a little better.
Thank you for having me tonight. I appreciate you and I appreciate your audience, and I hope that they will reach out and ask questions and take my free gift. And um, you know, I look forward to hearing from some of the viewers.
Is there an email where they can reach you, Sara?
Yes, my email is sarah@saraim.com.
We'll put that on the screen.
Yeah, just put Sarah at the front at Sara Im. Yeah.
There you go. So if you would like to reach out to Sara by email to get more information about her speaking offerings, you can email her at sara@saraim.com.
Yeah,
Sara,
I also I'm on LinkedIn. So if you just look for Sara Im on LinkedIn, you will find me.
okay. And you're on Facebook as well, correct?
Yes.
Yes. Okay, so folks, if you are looking for an inspirational speaker who can really talk about some real life rescue and deliverance, Sara is your gal, and I do hope that you will reach out to her and invite her to speak for you. Sara, thank you again for being here. I truly enjoyed having you.
Thank you.
Well, folks, that completes another episode of Bright Spots. I sure enjoyed having you here. I enjoyed our guest. Join us next week for JJ Stenhouse. JJ will be joining us all the way from London. And we were actually supposed to pre-record her episode earlier today, and I had a conflict and was unable to do that. So I'm hoping that we'll get her done this weekend, and we will be able to have her. Because of the time difference, this show would be at like 4:00 in the morning, I think, her time. So I did agree to do a pre-recorded interview with her. So I know that you're going to love seeing her as well. I invite you to come back each and every Wednesday at 7:00 for another episode of Bright Spots. God bless, keep shining your light, and I'll see you next week.